Hello and welcome to BrushMyQuant journey. If you wish to increase your knowledge of maths and want to receive regular updates from us, then consider subscribing to the channel by clicking on the subscribe icon to the right bottom of your screen. So let's get started with today's topic of prime numbers. Now today we are going to discuss a lot of things around prime numbers. So we will start with what is a prime number, what is the generic form of prime numbers. We will see how we can check whether a number is prime or not, and then we will see some sample problems on prime numbers. So let's start with what is a prime number. Now prime numbers are numbers which have only two factors, 1 and the number itself. Let's take some examples. So some examples of prime number are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11 and 13. These numbers are prime because they have only two factors, 1 and the number itself. Let's take an example of 2. So if you look at the factors of 2, the factors of 2 are 1 and 2 itself. So that's why it's a prime number, because it has only two factors. Now 2 is the only even prime number. Apart from 2, all prime numbers are odd, and only positive numbers can be prime numbers. Negative numbers cannot be prime numbers. Now let's see what is the generic form of prime numbers. So all prime numbers apart from 2 and 3 can be written in the form 6n plus 1 or 6n minus 1. Let's take some examples to understand this. Let's start with 7. So if we see 7 can be written as 6 plus 1, which is nothing but 6 into 1 plus 1, which is nothing but of the form 6n plus 1. Similarly, 11 can be written as 12 minus 1, which is nothing but 6 into 2 minus 1, which is nothing but 6n minus 1. Similarly, 13 can be written as 12 plus 1, which is 6n plus 1, and 17 can be written as 18 minus 1, which is of the form 6n minus 1. Now let's see how we can find whether a number is prime or not. So in order to check whether a number n is prime or not, we will first divide the number n by 6 and check if the remainder is 1 or 5. Now, if the remainder is 1 or 5, that means that the number can be a prime number. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to be a prime number, but there's a chance that it can be a prime number. But on the other hand, if the remainder is not 1 or 5, then definitely the number is not a prime number. So if you do this check, there is a good chance that you will be able to eliminate a lot of the numbers as non-prime numbers. Now, if the remainder was 1 or 5, then we need to do further checks. So we need to divide the number by all the prime numbers from 2 to square root of that number and check if the number is divisible by any of these numbers. If the number n is divisible by any of the prime numbers from 2 to square root of n, then definitely it is not a prime number. But if it is not divisible by any of those prime numbers from 2 to square root of n, then it is a prime number. I know it is a bit lengthy to figure out whether a number is prime or not. So let's try out some problems to understand how we can do this. So the problem is check if 123 is a prime number or not. You can pause the video and give it a shot, and once you are done, you can resume the video so that we can go through the solution. Hope you were able to solve the problem. Let's go ahead and try to solve it together now. So this is the method which we have discussed before. Now, in order to find whether 123 is prime or not, we're going to divide 123 by 6 and check if the remainder is 1 or 5. So if you'll divide 123 by 6, you will actually get a remainder of 3, because 123 is nothing but 120 plus 3, and 120 is divisible by 6. So that means we will come to this part, which is the no part, and directly we can say that 123 is not a prime number. You will see because of doing this check, it became so easy for us to figure out quickly that 123 is not a prime number. Let's try out one more problem. So the problem is check if 127 is a prime number or not. Again, you can pause the video and resume once you're ready to go through the solution. Hope you were able to solve the problem. So let's go through the method again. So we have to check whether 127 is prime or not. So we're going to divide 127 by 6 and check whether the remainder is 1 or 5. So if we divide 127 by 6, then we know that the remainder will be 1, because 127 is nothing but 126 plus 1, and 126 is divisible by 6. Now, since the remainder is 1 or 5, 1 in this case, so that means we will come to this part, and 127 can be a prime number. So now we need to divide 127 by all the prime numbers from 2 to square root of 127 and check if 127 is divisible by any of these prime numbers. Now, finding square root of 127 is difficult, so we can think of finding square root of any number which is closer to 127. And we know square root of 121, which is closer to 127, is equal to 11. That means we need to divide 127 by all the prime numbers from 2 to 11, which are nothing but 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. Now, in order to check whether 127 is divisible by any of these numbers, you can actually use divisibility rules. If you don't know the divisibility rules, then I've actually put a link to a video for divisibility rules as a description in this video, so you can go through that video later on. So let's see whether 127 is divisible by these numbers or not. Definitely, 127 is not divisible by 2 because it is an odd number. In order to check divisibility by 3, we can simply add all the digits of 127, which is nothing but 1 plus 2 plus 7, which is 10. Since 10 is not divisible by 3, that means 127 is not divisible by 3. It is definitely not divisible by 5 because it doesn't end with a 0 or a 5. So even 5 is gone now. Now let's check with 7. In order to check for divisibility with 7, it is actually easy to directly divide the number by 7 and check. So if you divide 127 by 7, then you will have 7 times 1 is 7. You will have 5 carry over. 5 and 7 will come down, 57. And 7 8 times is 56. So we have a remainder of 1, which means that 127 is not divisible by 7. It is definitely not divisible by 11 because 121 is divisible by 11. And the next number will be 132, which is divisible by 11. That means 127 is not divisible by any of the prime numbers from 2 to 11. So we will come to this part, and it will mean that 127 is actually a prime number. Hope you were able to understand what is a prime number and how to find whether a number is prime or not. If you did, please like the video, provide your valuable comments, do share the video with your friends, and consider subscribing to the channel by clicking on the subscribe icon.